Being a single woman in LA can be awesome. The nightlife, the beach, the shopping, the fun. But somehow, all of that seems to change when you're middle-aged. My name is Fran, Argentina-born, single, and yep, middle-aged. My midlife crisis hit me hard, so I decided to fight back by embarking on a quest. Visiting all 50 states before I'm 50 and taking you along with me.
Morning.
Okay, world, here we go. Planes, trains, and automobiles, buckle up, because this is going to be one heck of a ride. Welcome to My 50 Before 50. Warning, I have an accent. Sometimes it may be hard to understand what I'm saying. Occasional grammatical mistakes may be heard or read. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, I've just entered Mississippi, state number 46. It's so happening, you guys. It's so happening. I'm doing it. I'm wrapping this. This is the final round. Oh my, this is the final round. Well, Mississippi it is. And why not pick up where we left off? From Elvis' resting place to his birthplace. Hi from Mississippi. Yes, from Tupelo. Tupelo. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce this one. Shocking no one. But I will. I will figure it out. And I'm by the birthplace of the king of Mr. Elvis Presley. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing the same outfit that I wore to Graceland in our previous state, well, here we go, Graceland. Well, that's because I'm just coming from there. I was there 2 hours ago. It's actually really close, that due to the magic of television, this is a completely different chapter, an episode. In any case, it's also a very different dwelling place, I'd say. This is no Graceland. But, hey, let's go visit it. The house tour is quite brief, as the King of Rock was born in a tiny 2-room home lit by a single light bulb in each. Currently restored to look as it did back in his days, this place is witness to the very humble beginnings of one of the biggest entertainers of all time. That's the little house built by Vernon, Elvis' dad, and he lived here until he was 3 years old, approximately. Then Vernon had to go to prison because he forged a check and he got caught. So they couldn't live here anymore because Mama Gladys couldn't really afford it by herself. So the Presleys lived in Tupelo until Elvis was 13 years old, when they left for Memphis in pursuit of a better life, riding a car just like this one. 9 years later, he returned to his hometown for a benefit concert, which proceeds were used to buy his birth home and create these backgrounds for neighboring children. That same year, he purchased Graceland for the equivalent of $1.1 million in today's money. He was only 22 years old. Among many other things, the premises include the Fountain of Life, the Story Wall, which chronicles different milestones in Elvis's life, markers honoring some of his contributions to music, and Elvis's childhood church, where he began singing, and which original building has been moved right next to his birthplace. Fun fact, many celebrities visit this historic landmark. As a matter of fact, the gift shop employees that day were talking about the time Dolly Parton came by, and I had my own celebrity sighting. Actor, writer, and director Andrew McCarthy. Funny place to meet a celebrity, I'd say, especially considering I live in LA. Oh well. As for the city of Tupelo, Elvis's presence is everywhere, and plenty of murals and guitar markers pop up all over downtown, pinpointing at such landmarks as the Tupelo Hardware, where he walked in at 11 years old, hoping to buy a gun, but after some convincing from his mom, walked out with his first guitar instead. I guess we can all thank her for that. Beautiful night, wouldn't you say? But Tupelo was not my main Mississippi destination, so the following morning I made my final stop before heading south. The Tupelo Fair Park, where Elvis performed his 1956 homecoming concert and where he's now immortalized with a statue that depicts one of the most iconic moments of said show. Elvis extended his hand out to the audience in his hometown. Still today, fans from all over the world come to Tupelo to touch this statue and this hand and feel the King of Rock just a little bit closer. Time to say goodbye to Tupelo and Elvis. That's been a good ride. Now back to taking care of business. And so I was off to my main destination, the magical city of Vicksburg, a place that exudes beauty, charm, and history. But I will tell you all about it tomorrow. For the time being, time for a brief stroll downtown, a delicious drink with the best views of the city, the sky, and the Mississippi River, and then just trying to make it back to my bed and breakfast without getting caught in the storm. First morning in Vicksburg, and I decided to focus on its historic architecture. Starting off, why not, with the impressive Anchuca mansion. One of the many antebellum buildings in the old town, the Anchuca mansion, which means happy home in the Choctaw language, is now a stylish inn which offers a delicious brunch at its restaurant that happens to be rated #1 restaurant in town, nothing less. This is just one of many historic and breathtaking homes in Vicksburg, so why not take advantage of the holiday season and jump aboard the Vicksburg trolley for the Old Christmas Tree Home Tour. Every December, this tour takes you through 12 different and historic houses, 4 on each weekend it runs, all built between 1885 and 1970, and all exquisitely decorated for the Christmas season. With gracious hosts, fun snacks and beverages, and a few new friends, this was the perfect kickoff for my day. And we were just getting started. See, the day just picked up. Another house. Back on the trolley. While we're at it, big shout out to the Visit Vicksburg social media account, which does an amazing job at sharing all about their city, their tours and events. So please make sure to check them out. Once the tour was over, I was back in downtown by the almighty Mississippi, and right along its shore, I found the Riverfront Murals, a series of 32 art pieces that tell the super rich history of this city. Vicksburg is known for many things. Its key relevance during the Civil War, which divided the South in two. Its profound African-American past, legacy, and future. Its incredible sunsets. This place was also home to Jefferson Davis, the only president of the Confederate States of America, who made his first speech as president-elect at the Vicksburg Wharf and one of his final ones at the Anchuca mansion balcony, according to rumors. But mainly, Vicksburg is linked to the river, its source of life, growth, and development. And it's right across the river that we find yet more historic places. Like the old Yazoo and Mississippi Valley Railroad Station with its Depot Museum, part of an iconic line of trains often featured in blues music. The Coca-Cola Museum, previously the Biedenharn Candy Company, where back in 1894, Vicksburg's native Joseph Biedenharn decided to bottle this popular soda fountain drink for the first time in history, revolutionizing a whole industry. He became so successful that he ended up owning the largest private air fleet in the world, which eventually developed into what is now known as Delta Airlines. Sounds familiar? Not too shabby for a businessman, I'd say. Last but not least, we find the Vicksburg Civil War Museum, a labor of love by owner and curator Charles Pendleton. This is the first Civil War museum owned by an African American, and its mission is to inspire people to become more educated through a truly mind-blowing collection of artifacts, interactive displays, and a distinctive and inclusive point of view into our country's history. And so it was a wrap for downtown. As per Vicksburg's iconic sunsets, well, I let you be the judge. And then it was time for dinner at the delicious Beechwood restaurant. I'll keep it short because I still have a lot to show you, but let me just share this. Probably the best catfish I've ever had, not even joking. What is going on? Final day in Vicksburg, and one final stop. But before that, a quick look at my bed and breakfast, the historic Duff Green Mansion, yet another antebellum architectural gem, which original owners gave birth to their son inside a cave during the Vicksburg siege, more on that next, and that in spite of having served as an orphanage and a hospital for wounded soldiers during the Civil War, which fuels plenty of haunting rumors, provided the most amazing of rests for these weary traveler. A true pleasure, but it was time to go. Well, we're leaving Vicksburg, but of course, before that, we need to check out the military park, which holds the key to Vicksburg history and Vicksburg siege, which made this city so important in the Civil War. So here we go. This one-of-a-kind national park is located at the site of the American Civil War Battle of Vicksburg, a turning point of said war and the end of one of the most lavish military campaigns in American history. This was the last great Confederate bastion along the river, and whomever controlled the river controlled the nation. Vicksburg is the key, said President Lincoln. And so the Union planned the largest and more complex campaign of the war, attacking the city by land and by water, and forcing it into a siege that lasted 47 days. Surrender finally came on July 4th, 1863, after which the Union gained full control of the river, and close to 30,000 enslaved people were set free. Vicksburg, in the meantime, had to face the devastating consequences of a long siege that forced its people to take refuge underground, and of the loss of its main economy, cotton trade. I heard this type of land, of soil, of terrain exists only in 2 places in the whole world. One obviously here, the other one in China. So that alone is very particular. But also this is a city that during the siege lived underground. People made their own caves to be safe because they were being attacked from the Mississippi River and from the land. So the caves here saved a lot of people during that time. And they were quite big, not necessarily fancy, but quite big. They don't exist anymore. And also another thing about ground. In here, in this place, there are close to 17,000 soldiers, bodies buried. Most of them, 13,000, unidentified. So there's much to say about this actual land that I'm stepping on. The park, which offers an auto tour route with different stops, features nearly 1,400 monuments and markers, including state memorials honoring the fallen soldiers of each of those states, and others dedicated to individual soldiers, key commanders from both sides, specific battles, points of interest, warfare locations, and more. Amazing. Just amazing. A special mention to the Shirley House, the only wartime structure still standing inside the park. Wow. And the main and absolutely beautiful Illinois State Memorial, designed after the Roman Pantheon and standing tall at 62 feet. Time to leave the Magnolia State. But if you've been watching this series, you know by now that there are certain things I cannot resist. Oldest restaurant in the state. You know me, the oldest, the biggest, the tiniest. I like those kind of things. And I heard it's really good. Located in downtown Meridian, close to the state line, Weidmann's has been in business for over 150 years, and it was the perfect excuse to taste the delicious Mississippi seafood one final time. So good. Mac and tuna. Jesus. A 5-star meal to wrap a 5-star visit. Now off to the next state.